A lot of talk now about digital badging is about ways to reward students for different kinds of accomplishments or competencies they have. And the metaphor that a lot of people use, or the analogy a lot of people use, is the way scouting awards badges for various kinds of accomplishments. I think there's a way that the university and that learning institutions in general can use badges a lot more broadly, which is to help create meaning, to help students create and project their own meaning. So what the addition of digital badges, which is the new idea, has really done is add this data layer to badges that can be useful and informative for lots of purposes. It can let you include in the demarcation of accomplishment an actual example of the work that led to that accomplishment. It can allow us to put expiration dates on accomplishments. So you've accomplished a new kind of surgical training, great. In 2 years, you need to recertify in that surgical training. Or other kinds of knowledge which may get stale over time and you need to refresh. It can let students and instructors build sets of understandings about accomplishment in ways that weren't possible with our previous methods of badging. And I would claim, by the way, that we've always done a kind of badging at the university. We just call them grades. And then we assemble those grades into things we call transcripts. And they present, these transcripts, a very thin notion of what knowledge is. So for instance, if I'm teaching a 200 level of a physics class and I've got two students who come to me who both have Bs, all I know is that those students have mastered somewhere between 85 and 91% of the content at the 100 level. But I don't know which content. They may in fact know very different sets of things. Badges might be a way for us to help identify the specialized knowledge that people have developed and the knowledge they haven't developed in order to do more personalization, more customization of the pathways those students might take through subsequent course experiences. It may be a way for us to shape course experiences by saying, oh, I see you have done some work on the solar car team in microprocessor design. Well, if you're taking my microprocessor design class, that's useful for me to know. I might have you engage with this course in a slightly different way than somebody who had no previous experience with microprocessors in the real world. Badges might be a way for us to enable that. I don't think we know how to do this yet, but we have this appreciation of the fact that there's more information out there that could be formatively productive for learners and for instructors. And what we're working on is building these systems of badges that can talk to each other. And that, I think, is one of the most important things, is that a badge environment needs to be a system that works not just within a class, but across experiences and maybe beyond. So we might envision a future where a transcript from the university would not just be a collection of grades, but also a collection of badges that you might choose to represent to different potential employers the kinds of competencies you have. Do you want to go work in the automotive industry? You might select a presentation of badges that represent a certain kind of work you did that you think your potential employer would value. Do you want to go into graduate school? It might be a very different set of badges. That's the kind of control we can give back to learners that is also regulated in the same way a regular transcript might be regulated, because in the end, the university needs to be a certifying agent. We need to say, if you claim you are able to do A or B or C, that in fact you have shown the ability to do A or B or C here, and we're the certifiers of that competency. So digital badging, lots of potential, a lot of areas that we need to experiment in, a lot of ways we need to grow it, but the university is a great context for doing this kind of experimentation.